Expect no hope, Hunter. The phrase echoes in your head as the dark waters of the lake appear on the horizon. Who said it? Your memories are confused, fragmented. Reminiscences of your past life overlap, mingling with the stench of offense, sorrow, and wounds. And that old man with the black headband, the master. At the foot of the wooded hills, at the mouth of the river, stand the ancient walls of Lis, the port city. The mark on your shoulder burns slightly, but you've gotten used to the pain and hardly notice it anymore. The road descends, following the great river, straight to the merchant's gate. Here, you leave the main road and take the footpath through wasteland and undergrowth. You're still a pariah. Your place is not with the free men, but on the left bank, in the shanty town among the outcasts and refugees. But you don't plan to stay in the slums. You are now a hunter. The hunts published by the officers of the guard will be your livelihood and will take you into the wilderness bordering the lake. Bandits, wild beasts, unspeakable horrors will be your prey for the next few moons. Hunter. A dangerous job, but one you couldn't refuse. If fortune smiles on you, you'll be able to regain your place among men. The opaque fumes of the slums blow in your direction, imprinting a putrid stench on your skin. Remember, Hunter, if you are not careful, you will become what you hunt. Hello guys, and thanks for joining me for another game, another new RPG. It's called Cursedhunter. There is a subtitle, Merciless Solo RPG, and it is merciless. And not to spoil anything, but I have to say I tried it and it is merciless. So first of all, thanks for Theo from Aulos Games for the opportunity to try this. And the Kickstarter campaign for this game just launched on the 8th of October. So you have one whole month to back it, or you can have a glimpse what this game will be about. First of all, let's talk about the components, because we can have 4 different books, or let's say booklets. One is for the rules, character creation, dice rolling, flow of the game, so everything what you need to know for start playing. Second one is the Moonhunt. It is containing all the descriptions and all the possible options for the main games, for the main targets of your hunting sessions. The third one is the exploration journal, and this is the one you will use mostly when you play the game. You will go to different areas, different geographical environments, and you are rolling for exploration. And this is, we can call it tables, but it is much more. All the booklets contains tables, but there are descriptions about the happenings, the monsters, the environment. So if you read this, if you imagine all these things, really you can be the hunter playing this game. There is the fourth one, which is the encounter journal, containing all the encounters, the possible encounters you can have in the game. So, for example, you go for an exploration and there is a text guiding you to the encounter journal, where you can find, for example, the description of a beast if we are talking about combat encounters, but there can be other ones too. A word about the mindset for playing this game. It is very important to know that in dark fantasy, the dark things, curses, inhumanity, and even death is part of the game. So you can play this game as kind of the video game mindset that, okay, I made the wrong decision, this is not what I wanted to do, or the game just goes to the wrong direction, and you know the feeling when you look for the saved games and load the best possible solutions to change the way of the game, to change the flow of the story. You can do this, but you will lose the point of this game. This is dark fantasy, so my suggestion is don't cheat death, but of course you can do. This is dark fantasy, this is about curses and inhumanity and sometimes insanity, so I suggest you to just go with the flow, and maybe you will die, but there are some reasons, and there are not afterlife, but let's say just that this is part of the game. So we have these 4 books or booklets, and what else do you need? I, of course, followed my method of journaling, so I have a journal for the game, and we need 3 d6s, 2 with the same color and 1 with a different color. It suggests it's 2 white and 1 black die. The point is that there is a fate die. This is the black die. I use the red one and 2 blue ones. So what you have, the thing is that you have to know which one is the fate die, because there are some additional interpretations for that result coming from the fate die. So we have all the things now for playing, and I'd like to show you the game through my gameplay recap. I hope you will enjoy it. If you have any questions, of course, you can comment. Enjoy. First of all, let's start with the character sheet, and as you can see, this is an empty one, and I will show you Liam's character sheet, my hunter's sheet in a second, but I want to highlight that there is no section for a name or a character portrait. And at first I was like, oh, okay, no more things to think about. And of course I couldn't go without a name and face. But after playing, suddenly it clicked. Maybe it was the author's thinking and intention that you are a pariah outside of the society, not part of the civilization. So basically you are a nameless and faceless hunter. So after playing, I now really like this idea. And as you can see, there are different parts of the character sheet, but let's meet Liam Walker. This guy is Liam, my hunter, and how I built up his character. The game originally says that you roll for origin with a d6, so there are 6 possible options for origin, and I followed this, so Liam became a minor. And there is a list of offenses, which is basically the happening or the thing why you are not part of the society anymore, why you are a pariah. And the game says that you can choose what is the offense. And I followed this, but after a few play, I would say that maybe if you roll the same origin from time to time, you can feel that, okay, it's the same and I missed the other part, so you can choose. And the third part of this very beginning section, so the basic things, is about class. You can choose from 8 classes, and there are different bonuses. So we have 4 forces in the game: Umbra, Primal, Art, and Arcane. And these are kind of skills or knowledge, what you know about the world, in which area, in which force you have more experience. So that partially that comes from the class chosen. And I've chosen the aesthetic, and for the offense I've chosen savagery. So these are step-by-step build the stats of the character. After these you will have a curse, a starting curse, and it is very important that you are already in this cursed state. There are 4 lines in this strange snake shape section, so you can have 4 curses at max, because if you collect the 4th one, you lose the game, you lose your humanity actually. There are the marks part where you can collect these marks, and if you reach 3 from the same area, you will have a curse from that area. And in this point, I'd like to mention that curses have some advantages. In the right side, you can see the disciplines part. For example, there are curses which can give you disciplines. So there are some negative and in the same time positive effects of the curses. It is very strange. Just think about it. If you know someone visually impaired, they have better hearings. So that's how it works. I really like this, that you cannot just go down, but you can have some advantages. Every character starts with a special discipline, talking about disciplines, so it is there from the very beginning, from character creation. I had this frugality discipline. It was really, really useful because I could save more of my rations. And I could move longer distances with the same amount of rations. And as you play, you can learn, and by learning, you can have new disciplines. As you can see, I've made a little tracker here for Umbra, Primal, Arcane, and Art, because all the disciplines are part of one of the forces. So you build your knowledge about a force step by step by learning, and if you reach a threshold, then you will have a new discipline. That's how it works. From the beginning, we can have combat stats like advantages, resistances, weaknesses, and parries. And as we play, we can have more of these with the curses, with the disciplines, with the learnings. So this is the endgame character sheet. That's why I have more things here and there. The last thing I didn't mention from the right column is the trophies and banners part. As you go for hunting, you collect trophies, you bring those trophies home to Lis, to the city of Lis, where you exchange those trophies to banners, and when you reach enough banners, when you have enough banners, you get your rank back in the society and you have a name and face again. In the middle section, there are the keys and attributes. Keys are keywords. I will tell you a little bit later how it works. And the attributes is a very interesting thing. At first, I was confused what are attributes. These can be anything which is basically make your word alive. For example, you can have spells, you can have items, you can have different things here. And there are like the keywords in other games, but keys are different in this game. So it goes to the attributes part when you meet someone and you have a clue which is important for another event, for another encounter. If you have this or that attribute, then the encounter goes to another direction. Attributes in this game can be anything which has a later effect to your story. What about the other parts, the left parts? There are restorations. Restorations are kind of blesses, I would say. So you can heal your curses and your marks if you have restorations. I was a little bit confused. Maybe I didn't roll that type of restorations. Why there is a section here? Anytime if I had a restoration, it was like, okay, delete some marks. So I don't know when to note the restoration because I always used it immediately. And we have an equipment section, and we have a bag with 8 slots. You can't have more than 8 items in your bag. Vitality and aura. Vitality is basically hit points, health, life. So, the stat when you get 0, you die. And the aura is, I would say, the sanity in this game. So we are starting at the city of Lis, and there is a flow of the game. At first, you have to understand how time works. We have 8 moon phases. As you can see, we have a moon tracker under the map and the most important things about the city of Lis. This is the moon tracker where you can follow where you are in time. There are 2 special phases of the moon, the full moon and the empty, and there are special rules. I just copied it to the moon tracker, but it is part of the rules book. So we have 8 moon phases, but we have 24 nights to fulfill our quest, because in each phase we have 3 nights. And after the 3 nights, there are some summary phases, but after each night we have a rest phase. So it is important to track time well, because you will miss some steps if you don't know where you are in time. At the end of the rules book, you can find a summary sheet which summarizes all the important information you have to know and the steps and the flow of the game. But I'm a visual type, so I made a flow chart to make it easier. We start at the top with the new moon phase and we go to the first night. We have 3 actions each night, and after the night is over, we are somewhere either in a camp or at the city of Lis. Based on where we are, we have different things to do. So on the left side, you can see the 2 steps of being in a camp. And on the right side, I've put there to the steps if you are at Lis. That's what you have to follow. And after these steps, second night arrives and you go for another hunt. You have 3 action steps and you arrive by the end of the night either in a camp or at Lis, and the third night is the same. And after 3 nights, the moon goes to the next phase, so you arrived to the same point. You have to roll for a new moon hunt using the Moonhunt booklet. The guards basically announce what is the hunt for this phase of the moon. So you have more than 3 nights because you can hunt them later. After every 3 nights, they announce a new hunt, which is possibly available around the city or around the lake. And let's see how the game went with Liam, or how it started. So at first, before the first night, the guards announced that the hunt of this phase is Eyes of the Night, and we can meet this game in the arches. At every announcement, you can decide if you want to go for it or not. There are more hunts than places in your map to note, so it can happen that, for example, and it actually happened with Liam and with this game, that I rolled more than 2 main games for the arches. Meanwhile, we have only 2 places to add as a main game for each areas. Now we know the target, but we have to find it exactly where he is in arches. So we can see in brackets beast, night and track, and these are the 3 keys we have to find to track the beast and hunt down later. So for the Eyes of the Night we need these 3 keys, and each key is connected to a main force. We have a list or a table of keys in the rulebook where to look for each key. We can find any of the keys anywhere in the world, but in each area there are some forces which are higher, or how to say, which are present there more. So for example, in the arches there is primal and arcane forces, so we have better chances to find primal and arcane related keys. And that's how we play the game basically. This is the main target, to hunt these main hunts. We can meet smaller beasts and we can collect trophies other ways too, but these are the most worthy hunts, the most worthy targets. So I decided to note it and go and look for the beast, the night and the track keys. In the primal and in the umbra areas you can match the keys with the forces. It is only a part of the map coming with the game, so you have more choices, and you can start anywhere in the world. I mean, starting from Lys and the slum, but you can decide where to go next. And of course, the first roll, the first main hunt will guide you where to look for the first keys you will need. So I had my first task and I decided to go to the arches, and in the meantime I hope fully can find the keys I needed to find the Eyes of the Night. How traveling works in this game. You can see the passes, these thin lines, and each time you are crossing a moon icon, it is 1 action of traveling. So we have 3 actions for a night, and my first action was traveling to pavements. So after leaving Lys, you can see I can follow the line and find a moon, meaning I have to spend an action for this travel. I arrived to the pavement, and next action I've chosen was exploring the pavement, meaning I arrived to the first empty area where I can find something, and I've rolled for it in the exploration book what is in the pavement. At first I've rolled a murmur. I reached the shores and found this devourer, as it says, and as you can see we need 5 keys for encountering this monster, and I immediately felt that maybe it is too much for me at the very beginning, and it is an opportunity, so I had another choice. If you'd rather explore the wild shores nearby, gain knowledge, and you see knowledge is underlined, meaning this is a key. And despite it didn't need for me at that point of the game, I decided to go with it because the devourer was too scary, and I wanted to collect keys because who knows if it will be useful for later hunts. So I chosen to get the knowledge key, and as text says, exploration ends, and then I had a third action to spend. I decided to finally move to the arches. There can be options to collect keys, and if I can collect all the keys there, I can immediately go to the Eyes of the Night. So that's how I spent my first night. I arrived to the arches, and I wasn't at Lys, so I had to follow the steps for the end of the night when we are in a camp. The first action in a camp is mandatory, consume food, but I had a special discipline, frugality, so I've used it, and I spent 1 hour, so I became a little bit more insane, I have to say, but I didn't spend any of my rations. And after consuming the food or solving this in another way, we can have one action. We have different actions to choose from. We can rest and regain 1 vitality and 1 aura. We can gather, so we can go for hunting and find food or rations. And the third option is studying. And I've chosen this at first, and it says that we can choose which force we want to have more experience, which force we want to learn about, and we can have bonuses if there is a +1 on the land. And the arches land, we have a +1, so I rolled with this advantage and I gained 2 masteries in primal force, and it meant that I had a new discipline, observation. How did it go? I've already had 1 point of learning in the primal area, and with studying I had in total 3, and 3 is the first threshold in all forces to get a discipline, and it is expanding, so the next time you will need 4, the next time you will need 5 in the same force. And this way, by the end of the first night, I had a new discipline. When second night arrived, I was already in the arches, but I didn't do anything yet there because I just arrived last night. So this is the first option, to explore the arches, and I found a location this time. This is a special result. There are some results where the description starts with showing 2 phases of the moon. When you see the 2 moon icons in any result, you have to check if there are in any of these phases. If you are not, you can read along and you can move with the result. But if you are in one of the phases, and actually the second icon is where I am now in the first moon phase, it means that you have to go to the encounter book and find the word shown by the moon. So I went to the encounter book and looked for the heart result. I really like that the encounter book works like a lexicon. We have an alphabetical table of contents at the very beginning, and we can find very, very quickly what we are looking for. So I went to the heart encounter and I've read what is the story. It is interesting. I put it to you here so you can pause and read. And with this result, I had 2 options to choose from. The first one was a new hunt, again with 5 keys. So I thought it is a difficult one to find 5 keys and defeat this blue she-wolf. And I went with another option and gained the contemplation key. It is not needed again for the first hunt I've chosen, but it can be useful later. So that's how it works, that in the exploration, in this moon phase, the she-wolf appeared, and that was the first part of this result. And after the encounter ends, as the text says, we go back to the exploration book and follow the text, because we just played the encounter because we are in a special moon phase, but still we have this location, this brook to explore. We found it, and if I want to solve this challenge, you can see the challenge target is 7 in the primal force area, and I don't want to go step by step how rolling works, but I have a challenge to solve. If I want to get the 2 keys connected to this location, you can see in case of success, we can have the beast and the dawn, and the exploration ends. And for each trying to solve this challenge, we have to spend an action. So the second action of this night is checking this challenge. So I tried to solve this. It wasn't successful, but I had a third action, and in the same night we have some advantages if we try it again and again. Unfortunately, it was a failure again, so I didn't get any of these keywords, and that's how the second night went, and I was out of list, so I had to spend the next phase in a camp, and this time I had to consume 1 food, because we can use frugality only once after leaving Liz. And this time I've chosen to look for some more foods, and I was successful and gathered 2 rations. When I arrived to the third night, I still had this option to solve this challenge in the brook location, but it is a location, not an obstacle, so I've chosen to leave it and go explore further in the arches. So, first action of the third night was exploring arches, and I found pathways, which is an opportunity. I didn't have the moon icons here, so it is just the exploration. We don't have to follow anything in the encounters book or check the phases at first. And with this opportunity, I had two options again. One is note a new hunt. It was a more difficult choice because this hunt, beast, wood and down in the arches, it had only 3 keys to find, and it was in the same location, so it was tempting to choose this one. But I realized that I need the beast keyword anyway for my original target, the Eyes of the Night, and the other option is, if you prefer to focus on the other trails, gain beast, so I can have this beast keyword. And I went with this because now I had at least one of the 3 keys needed to attack the Eyes of the Night. Then I arrived to the northern part of the arches, so I had the option to look further in this area or move to the mirror area, where I have not just the primal but the Umbra and the art forces, and I needed an Umbra key, so I went to the mirror. So the second action was traveling to mirror. There, the third action was exploring the mirror, and the first area what I found was an obstacle. It was bogs. But before I could solve this obstacle, I had to check the moons, and yes, of course, we had again a matching moon icon, so I had to go to the Encounters book and looking for Carapace World. And this was the first combat of my game, this game, and in this case, we can see all the stats of the beast: strength, fatality, advantage, weaknesses, so the same things what we have in our character sheet. And there is only one option here, the combat option, but we can meet monsters or beasts which can have more actions. Like I've met once a humanoid figure, and there were some peaceful or negotiation type of actions, not just combat. In this case I had to fight, and I fought successfully. So at the end of the section you can see with Roman numbers the different results. In this case we have only combat as an encounter option, so we can have only one type of result, but there can be other things, like if you have a negotiation challenge, there are different results for winning or losing that challenge. In this case I defeated the beast, and I won 1 trophy and 2 materials number 2. The trophy I've mentioned, we can exchange it to banner, and we can build our reputation in the society. About materials, there are 6 types of materials in this game. All have a corresponding Roman number, and that makes it easier to note these. And you actually don't have to know if these are scraps or bones or fangs and so on. But the important thing is you can combine these materials and buy things. Basically imagine it that you go to, for example, a blacksmith, and you give 2 materials which can be combined to an armor. That's how it works. So I gained 1 trophy, and with Roman number 2, 2 bones. That's what I had at this point. And this was the end of the third night, and actually the end of the first moon phase. But before ending the moon phase we have to end the night. I was in a camp, I was eating 1 food, and I've chosen to rest this time because I've lost 1 point of vitality, and I've already had this missing 1 point of aura because of using the frugality discipline at the very beginning. So I needed 1 vitality and 1 aura, and this is exactly what I can get from resting, so I've chosen the rest action as the action for the camp. And this is the end of the first moon phase, and when I moved to the second moon phase I had to use the Moonhunt book again, and I rolled for a new hunt, and the loop starts again. So I decided if I want to track it or not, if I want to look for the keys or not, and Now I show you the finished map, at least this part of the finished map, and as you can see I managed to defeat the Eyes of the Night, and I explored many parts of the map of these areas. And how this game went, I tried to return to Lys before the last night ends, and I was one step away. I needed only one more action to reach Lys. So actually, when you see the 10 banners, it is a little bit of cheating, I have to say, that after the last night, I decided, because I have still 6 vitality and 3 aura, I decided that, okay, I'm tired because I was awake at the night, hunting, so on, but I finally reached the goal, and Liam was so motivated to reach Lys that at the end of the last night he just walked that we can imagine that by noon he reached Lys and exchanged the trophies to banners and reached the target 10 banners to get back the place in society, and Liam became a man again. And there are some other smaller rules and some other specific things how to play this game, but it is easy to learn, and I really suggest you to try it, because if you like this dark fantasy, this cursed world and this cursed state of your character, and how the inhumanity can come to play. If you like these things, you will like the Cursed Hunter, and I really suggest you to try it. The Kickstarter campaign is still running, so you can join there, or you can, of course, buy it later. I'm curious, what do you think about this game? If you have any thoughts, feel free to comment, or if you have any more questions about the gameplay or about Liam's journey, feel free. Thanks for being here. See you next time. Bye.